like this video is going to be very, very cringeworthy. So I've always wanted to do a video like this, and I love watching these kinds of videos where people look back on the old content that they used to make and kind of compare it to the way that they are now or the way that they think now. And I've been on Booktube for 4 years, but it's kind of difficult to pinpoint exactly when I started doing Booktube because it kind of was a gradual shift from more lifestyle beauty content into the Booktube world. So for me, I don't have like a set in stone date when I became a Booktuber. I usually consider one of my first Booktube videos to be my Unpopular Opinions book tag that I did way back in 2017. But I know that for a lot of people, the start of their channels was their Booktube newbie tag, which I did end up doing just a couple of videos later. And so it's kind of difficult to figure out when I really genuinely started Booktube. Because even before my Unpopular Opinions book tag, I had still done book content before, so it wasn't like, oh, this is completely new. I had never done this before, because I did. So for me, it's just really, really difficult to figure out when exactly I started my Booktube channel. And I also don't really remember exactly when I changed my channel name. Like, I have no recollection of that. So I know it happened, obviously, because my channel is Allie with Books, but I don't remember when I decided on that name, when I chose it, when I made it my brand or whatever. So we're just kind of going with it. So I posted the Unpopular Opinions book tag back in March of 2017. It is now March of 2021, and I wanted to see if any of my opinions from that video have changed or have evolved, or if I don't agree with that video anymore. I also have with me, of course, my obligatory iced latte. Delicious. I did actually just post a recipe for it on TikTok, so if you want to know how I make my iced lattes, you have to go follow me on TikTok. Also, I have my AirPod in so I can listen while we watch together my video that I'm going to be reacting to. I'm so excited to do this.
Hey guys, so I haven't done a book related video and
I love that I talk about the books that are in my background because, as you can see, there is a very, very stark difference between how my background started and how my background is today. And this is the same room. Like, I was actually filming this video in this corner right here off camera, and all I had was this shelf. I don't even think you can see it in frame, but all I had was this wire shelf and a bunch of books that I had gotten either from like gift cards that I had gotten, or most of my books were from the book sale that was at my 2 local libraries. So literally the majority of my books were secondhand at that time. And as you can see, I did try to make my background really pretty and aesthetic, but it didn't happen. I didn't know what to do. I was just starting, and I was like, let me throw this background together really quick, and hopefully everybody will like it and buy into it, and I'll be fine.
Redid everything. So if you want me to go through my bookcase, then let me know in a comment
bookcase
down below or by liking this video. Today I'm going to be doing a tag called the Unpopular Opinions book tag, and this was created by the
I love that I credit the creator
down below. I just recently like binge watched so many people's Unpopular Opinion book tags, and I was like, I have to do this tag because I have so many unpopular opinions. I am like the queen of unpopular opinions.
I feel like this is still so true. I have so many unpopular opinions. I don't share them very often. As you know, if you follow me on Twitter, I do share some of them, and a couple of them are like, you know, people get mad, but it's not a big deal. And, you know, and I think even before, you know, I actually started making Booktube videos, I wasn't like really into the book community, so I wasn't even sure exactly what were popular and unpopular opinions. Like the extent of book community knowledge that I had was from like the handful of booktubers that I watched, and then the book community on Tumblr. So I didn't really have like any context of the book community on Twitter or Instagram or anywhere else at the time. It was literally just the handful of booktubers that I watched and Tumblr.
Like, if you know me, you know that I almost I almost dislike every single thing that everyone else really likes. It's very hard for me.
I feel like this screams not like other girl energy. I'm so sorry.
Unpopular opinions. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question is a popular book series that you didn't like. And for this one, I don't have the book with me.
I want to guess what book series I'm going to mention because I have a couple of ideas. I don't think that I put Harry Potter for this question. I think I put it for my least favorite author as J.K. Rowling, or I put John Green. I can't remember. I'm gonna go with Harry Potter though. Maybe I did Harry Potter. I don't know.
For a lot of reasons, but I would have to go with The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare.
Oh, okay. You know what? They're related. Those two series are related, so I feel like that counts. That's like a half point. Yeah, I'm not surprised that I put The Mortal Instruments. I hated The Mortal Instruments. It was more of the forefront of my mind at that time because it was like 4 years ago. I was 22 years old in this video. So I'd only been out of high school for about 4 years, and that was when I read The Mortal Instruments. And that's when I read The Mortal Instruments initially. I do actually like the concept of those books, and I like the idea. They're not like horrible. I just hated Clary so much that like I couldn't enjoy any of the rest of the series.
Connect with the story enough. I liked it, but it wasn't like something that I felt like
I think I'm gonna say that right now.
That I had to continue. That, you know, it just wasn't a book series for me. So, and I'm pretty sure I read 2.5.
I'm pretty sure I read 2.5.
Yeah, I just don't think the way that she
I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right now.
Great, but you know, I'm getting into the TV show, so
I did watch some of the TV show. I didn't finish it,
the next question,
but I think I got to season 2.
Book or series that everyone else didn't like.
I think I'm gonna say Shatter Me for this answer. I'm pretty sure it's Shatter Me.
I have a really great answer
because I remember. Yep, I said Shatter Me for this answer because I remember I got a comment that was like, "Oh, Shatter Me is like super popular. Like a lot of people like it." But at the time, like I said, the only context for the book community that I had was Tumblr. Basically just Tumblr, a little bit of YouTube, but mostly Tumblr. And everybody on Tumblr hated the Shatter Me series. It was all about the Raven Cycle, all about the Hunger Games, all about, you know, Divergent. Shatter Me and The Selection were like very, very hated. So that's probably why I put this answer down.
Which I got, I think, maybe the first or second week that it came out. And I was so happy. And I love the way that these books ended. Like, I don't
so true.
Anything, but just everything.
I love the Shatter Me series so much.
And I don't get that a lot in books. So this was definitely a winner for me. Okay, so the third question is a love triangle where the person ended up with someone.
I think I'm going to mention Delirium in this one. I think I'm going to mention Delirium because I have really, really strong opinions about that love triangle. I hate Alex so much. Like, I read this series back in high school, so it's been over 8 years since I've read this series. I still have like absolute rage over this like love triangle. I hate Alex so much. Book 1, Alex was fine. I didn't hate him, but I was like, oh, that's too bad for him, whatever. And so then like the second book comes around. I'm sorry, this is spoilers for the entire series. I'm sure nobody's reading Delirium in the year of our Lord 2021. But spoilers, in book 2 we have Julian, and I loved him. I fell in love with him. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it, Julian and Lena. I was a huge Julian and Lena shipper on Tumblr. I made edits. And then book 3 comes around and it's like, oh surprise, Alex isn't dead, he's back, and he's an asshole, and he's gonna gaslight the hell out of Lena, and he's just gonna be a giant fucking asshole. So I hated him by the end. I hated Alex so much. So I think this is what I'm gonna mention.
Okay, because I'm talking about the Delirium series by Lord Oliver. Actually,
by Lord Oliver.
That's what the series is called. I think it's like I don't remember. I did not like these books at all. The only book that I liked, and you might know why based on the OTP that I'm gonna say,
The OTP! No!
And I don't remember the names of these.
I literally said OTP. Oh my god.
Lena and gosh, there's the guy. I can't remember his name.
How come I remember their names now compared to back then? Okay, there's an ad. I'm so sorry. That's really annoying.
For so long because I was like so obsessed. Oh, Lena and Julian. Okay, Lena and Julian.
I love how I didn't do any research for this video. I just don't do research for any video. If you see any video, any let's talk, any like conversation video, any tag, I literally choose the books right before I start filming and I do not even think about them. So if it ever sounds like I didn't do research for a video, I probably did not do research for a video.
I was pumped after reading Pandemonium. I was like, yes. Julian and Lena, like I even have edits on my old Tumblr of like,
oh my god, that's so embarrassing.
And I love them. And then, spoiler, if you haven't somehow read the Delirium series by Lauren Oliver, they don't end up together. So that was heartbreaking.
That was rough.
I was so angry reading Requiem.
Why do I say it like that? Requiem.
I felt so betrayed. I was so
Who am
angry. I was like, this was a waste of my time. Why did I read this? And I kind of do look back on those books with a little bit of like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but
I do that a lot. I like will look back on a book series I read when I was like in high school or whatever, and I'd be like, was that really as bad as I thought it was? Like, was that really just a horrible book, or was I being like really obnoxious? I don't know. I have no idea.
But that's just my opinion. Question 4 is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for.
Sci-fi,
I think. A very short answer, and I think it would definitely be
paranormal. Okay, paranormal, sure, that's true as well. I don't really read a lot of paranormal, and that was like really big back when I was in high school. And really the only paranormal series I ever really read was Twilight, so.
I love horror, and I love paranormal stuff. So maybe I should try and get into
I probably should.
A little bit more. I just never find any books that I'm like, oh, that sounds really interesting, you know? That might be a good one to read. It just doesn't happen very often.
That's true.
Okay, question number 5. A popular or beloved character that you don't like.
Oh, I don't know.
And I think I'm gonna have to go with Peter from P.S. I Still Love
That
You
makes sense. I am not a big Peter Kay stan. I do like him more in the movies. I think he redeemed himself for the movies. But I don't really love him in the book. I'm sorry.
I was rooting for him. And then I read this book, and my opinion about him changed very, very quickly, because I think he's a huge jerk. And I think he's so mean to Laura Jean, and I just don't like him at all. I think he's so mean, and just everything about what he did in this book bothers me.
I also really I love John Ambrose McLaren like, so much. He's so sweet. I love him. Soft boy.
He wasn't the Peter from the
adorable.
Like, maybe he was, but just like he turned into kind of an asshole. So the 6th question is a popular author that you can't.
This one's gonna be John Green.
And I think for this one, it's
obvious.
Going to have to go to John.
I don't know when I put Harry Potter. I'm sure that I talked about Harry Potter because I've never liked Harry Potter, so I'm really surprised I haven't mentioned it yet.
All the emotions that everyone goes through when reading The Fault in Our Stars, and then I tried to read Paper Towns. I think, and I don't
like John Green. The only John Green book I've ever enjoyed that I've read has been The Fault in Our Stars. I did try to read Turtles All the Way Down, and I actually did finish it. I did read it, but I just hated it so much. I hated it so much.
Well, it's like, I think The Fault in Our Stars was the only one. John Green, I just can't read his books. I like him as a guy. I love The Fault in Our Stars.
That's true. I do love John Green. I used to love watching Vlogbrothers, but I don't like his writing. It just doesn't work for me.
And I have a lot of opinions.
Oh wait, I want to guess what popular book trope that I don't like. This is gonna be hard because since 2017, I've definitely changed my views and opinions on book tropes. I don't really have very many that I hate, but I also feel like book tropes serve a purpose. You're never gonna read a book that doesn't contain book tropes. Like, that's just a fact. And I think wasting your time just like talking about how much you hate a book trope is like, I don't know, it's just like I said, it's a waste of time. I don't know, it's just, it doesn't seem to serve a purpose to me, and I really there are book tropes that I really enjoy that can be done really, really poorly. Like, I love love triangles, I love hate to love, I love insta love, but I know that they can be done so poorly, and that's why people don't like them. So it's not necessarily that the book trope is bad, it's that it's poorly written most of the time. So I think I'm going to say that it's either the not like other girls trope, or it's going to be, I don't know. That's the only trope I can think of that like I genuinely don't like most of the time. I think that trope can be done really well, but most of the time I don't like it. So I'm gonna go with that one.
It's about this, and I think I want to make an entire video about book tropes, but I would have to say that my number one least favorite book trope is the dark face.
Oh, okay. I went really like social issue with it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Kind of, I mean, like, I think that's trying to be edgy and do like a reverse, like,
I think that that's completely fair. I was going for more like trendy in like my guess for what my least favorite book trope was. In reality, I guess I went more like actual social issue, like actual racism. Like, I just don't like racism in books, which is like, yeah, that's great, good for you. I would hope you don't like racism in your books. I don't know, like, but no, I think that that was also relevant because at the time, I don't remember when it was actually published, but there was that Veronica Roth book out. I also started Booktube when that Laurie Forrest book came out, The Black Witch. So I think that that was kind of on my mind at the time, so that totally makes sense that I chose the dark-faced aggressor trope, and I completely agree with this.
I'm just so tired of that. It's just like, I get that you're trying to make this commentary on racism, but it's not working, and it just makes you look awful. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. Stop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Especially if it's a white author writing it. Like, no, I don't want to hear a white perspective on trying to, you know, flip this racism thing.
A popular book series that you have no interest in reading.
And this is gonna be Harry Potter. This one's Harry Potter. I love that right before I answer the question, it goes to a commercial. That's really great. We're gonna skip that.
It might make me lose some friends. Okay, maybe not really, but
no.
it's definitely a
at least not
that
now.
for a long time. Some of my
hey, I
friends
was ahead of the times with that. I've never liked this series
because I know that people love the series with all their hearts, and I totally get it because I love some series with all my heart the way that they do. So without further ado, it is definitely the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, there you go.
I love the movies. I grew up watching the movies.
I did grow up watching the movies, and I did really like them.
I remember distinctly in 3rd grade, I went to the little library inside of our classroom.
This is a true story.
Stone, tried reading it,
and I hated it. I hated it. It was so boring.
And went back to my Laura Ingalls Wilder.
That's true.
So dumb.
Oof.
But I tried to read it a few years ago.
It's absolutely true.
A Christmas present from my best friend Tiffany, and I have
actually now read the first book. I think it was like probably back in 2018 is when I think it was probably back in 2018 when I first read the first Harry Potter book, like completely all the way through. I still didn't like it. It didn't change my opinion on it. I didn't continue with the series. I was like, well, this just kind of confirms what I always knew. But I would love to read books that are similar to Harry Potter. And I do love Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson is great. I need to finish the series. I think at this time I had just freshly read some of the Percy Jackson books. Or at least
attempt to read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone again as an adult. And I just found that it was very, very pretentious. I could not take it seriously because it took itself way too seriously.
That's so true. That series takes itself dead serious. Like, dead serious. I'm like, dude, you're a middle grade book. I'm so sorry.
Okay, the last question number 9.
We're on the last one.
the book is always better than the movie, but what movie is
I don't
better
think
than the
I
book?
answered
And
this one very well. I probably said
I'm going
Little
to have to
Women.
go with Little Women.
Yeah.
Because I grew up
I
on
typically
movies.
say that for that question.
I think I've seen, like,
It's
every
an awful
version of Little Women
question.
that you could possibly imagine. And I've read this book and I absolutely love it. Oh my freaking gosh, I love this book. It's so sweet, it's so beautiful, it makes me cry, it's gorgeous. But I think the movies are just so much more nostalgic to me because that's what I grew up on.
That's
And
true.
I
didn't
love
read.
musical, so
I didn't actually read Little
I
Women
think just
until I
those
was
forms
an
of
adult.
media
So
from
I
Little
think that
Women
might also have
are
like
just,
influenced
they
my
make this
opinion
story
on
shine,
it.
and I love it.
And I do
I've
love the
always
book.
loved
The
this
book is really good. I definitely want to
and I
reread
think
it
it's a beautiful
at some
book,
point. I
but
just don't have a
definitely
very good copy to
personally
read
love the
that
movies
book
more.
in.
Is the book better than the movies? Probably, but I like the movies a little bit more, so that's just, you know, that's how my brain works. Alright, so that
There
was
we go.
the video, and
The whole
let me know in the comments
video.
what
We looked at
your
it all.
unpopular
It's so
bookish
wonderful.
opinions
Okay, so we don't need to watch the outro for this video, but oh my gosh, that was actually a lot of fun to rewatch that video. I literally haven't seen it in years, probably since I posted it. I don't typically go back and watch those kind of videos again. If I'm ever gonna rewatch a video of mine, it's typically a vlog, and it's typically a Disneyland vlog. So I don't really go back and rewatch any of like my actual booktube videos. So that was a lot of fun, and I actually definitely feel like maybe my opinions have changed a little bit. Maybe I would have answered them differently now, but I still really stand by my answers for this tag. I think I gave pretty good answers. I gave pretty good reasons for my answers, and I don't think I was as awkward as I expected to be on camera. Because I know even at that point, back in 2017, I had been on YouTube for about 2 years, so I was pretty comfortable in front of the camera, but I was really uncomfortable with making booktube videos at that moment because I was nervous to say the wrong thing. I was really nervous to kind of jump into the book community, and I, you know, like I said, I didn't have a lot of context for it. I didn't have a lot of experience with the book community, so I had no idea what they were talking about, or, you know, what like the popular topics were. So I was just completely lost. I was really winging it in those videos, like those really early ones. So I'm just glad that people watched them and enjoyed them and decided to subscribe, and like now we're here. It's been 4 years and I still love making booktube videos so much. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed watching me react to one of my super old videos. If you ever want me to go back and react to any of my other videos, I would totally love to do that. This was so much fun to do. I always kind of wanted to do this video, but then stopped myself because I'm like, it's just gonna be a lot of work. It's not, no one's gonna be interested in it. So I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, TikTok, Storygraph. All of the links are down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!